Hi, let's jump right into it. You're going to need a couple things today. One is your choice reading book, whether that's in paper or digitally. You're also going to need your digital notebook and this week's Canvas. Can you go ahead and let's start with Canvas. Can you pull up Monday Async instructions and materials now? Perfect. Now navigate to the link that says Reading Log Prompts. This is what's going to guide you each week in your reading log entries. All right, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to dive into this slideshow and we're going to start on slide 3. So here's how it's going to work. Every week, I will push out 2 to 3 reading log prompts for you, and you are going to log your responses in your digital notebook in the reading log section. Go ahead and navigate to that now. Now you've filled out this first page already. We're going to adjust the formatting in just a moment, but let's talk about what it's going to look like in the long term. You'll do 2 to 3 prompts per week. 3 would be aspire to. You can kind of play it by ear depending on how busy you are. But by the end of this term, the end of January, you should have between 12, that's if you did 2 entries each week, including over winter break, that's your only winter break work, to maybe 16 if you're doing 3. You'll turn these in at the end of the semester with your notebook. You'll also be picking some of your best entries to make part of your final portfolio here. You also have the option of doing this on paper if you want, and uploading pictures. That's available as long as what you're turning into me is digital. Just let me know if you want to do this. So this very first direction I think is helpful. It's not required, but if you, while you're reading, because you're probably going to read throughout the week, maybe keep some sticky notes around so that you can just jot down, oh, this was a line that was interesting and had interesting word choice, or this was an aha moment where I made a connection, or this had some interesting sentences, so that when you go back to do this logging, the work is already done for you. I'll talk about the components that you're going to log now. So this is the format, and I actually want you to copy paste this into your reading log entry. You can see below an example entry, and then each prompt on the following slides will also give you an example entry for right now. Let's talk formatting. If you go to the reading log section of your notebook, you'll see underneath this line, this kind of format here. Here's the deal. I don't like that anymore. I don't think it serves us because we're not reading together, so I don't need you to log pages and every time you read. That's just too much arbitrary work. So instead, can you find on slide 4 the format? And then I want you to click, drag to highlight, and then Control or Command C. You can also go to Edit and Copy here, and then go back to your reading log. Take all this work that I did. We don't need that. That doesn't work for us. And then Control or Command V to paste. You can also go Edit and Paste. And then you have your entry right in here. Maybe paste that a couple of times. You're going to do at least 2 entries this week. Some of you will do 3 if you want to shoot for the aspire to. So now my reading log entry has kind of 3 boxes here. Take a moment and do that now. All right, welcome back. So you have your format, but you don't know what exactly you're supposed to be doing in these entries. Each week I'll push out prompts that will show you what you're supposed to be doing. So let's take a look at that right now. Slide 2 will have the week's table of contents. It'll have what the week's date are, keywords for your prompts. We'll talk about why you'll need those in a moment. And then the slide numbers that you should go to. And of course, the slide numbers here are going to correspond with the numbers. If you look to the very far left, let's see if it'll let me, it'll say the number of slides. So on the table of contents, I know that I'm going to slide 5 and 6. They're also color coded, and there'll be a date on the last the upper right-hand side right here. So I know I'm on the correct week. All of the prompts that you must do are going to be coded in blue. All the prompts that are optional will be in yellow. So let's talk about your first one. Prompt number 1 is aha. And then there's a description right here that reads off what it is. An aha prompt is just something that gave you a little aha moment. You stopped and thought. This could be an insight into a character. It could be a connection to current events. It could be something funny. It could be a connection to your own personal life. Aha is pretty open. And you can see my example entry here. So when we talk about your notebook, you'll fill in the date that you read it, the title of the book that you're reading, the author. Notice that I have correctly looked up my author title, or my author name now. I think I put T. Dwee, and the last one it's T. Dwee here. Page of the quote. If you are listening to an audiobook, instead of page, you would do a timestamp. So it would look, instead of like page 113, it would look something like 45:32, right? Somewhere around there, so that if you need to go back and find it, you can find it. And then the keyword of the prompt, you find the keyword of the prompt right here. So the keyword of your prompt is going to be aha for your first one. Okay? Then you write the quote out word for word there. You can see an example on this slide. And then lastly, you're going to do a brief explanation. Why did you connect with this? Why did this make you laugh? What good insight? Why is this an aha moment for you? So you'd fill in the quote and a brief explanation. This is like 1 to 2 sentences. So there's your first prompt down. Your second one is writing style. So same thing, you're going to shift now down to your second box. Keyword of prompt would be writing style. And what you're looking at for writing style is strong writing and sentence style. I want you to get down to, remember when we do content and style analysis, what are you noticing stylistically about the organization of the piece? You could talk about different sentence types and why they're used. Remember, you have all those notes about simple, compound, complex sentences. If you find in a positive, if you find an embedded quote like we've been practicing, what about things like parallel structure? You could bring in things from previous English classes if you've learned that. You could also just find sentences that have an interesting rhythm, but it's going to be like a sentence or two. And then you're going to write out your brief explanation. So I just found a complex sentence, going back to that. And then I thought it was interesting because the complexity of the sentence actually kind of mirrored what the author was talking about, which is like a really complicated relationship with her family. Once you've done your second prompt, you're done. If you want to do a third, this is your aspire to option. Your third option is always, your aspire tos will always be yellow here. So it'll say words that are new and interesting, word choices that change the meaning of the scene, words that have also been vocab words in English or that connect to vocab terms. Again, you do the same thing. Your keyword of the prompt will be words here. And then a brief explanation. All right. Once you've got that, you should have 2 to 3 entries in your reading log. Be prepared to share them. You have the week to get them done, and then I'll have you share them, I guess when we come back from break. You'll also be turning them in at the end of the semester as part of your reading log. Thanks so much. Bye.